Hi, folks. This is Mountain Man. Past the frost being on the pumpkin, but anyway, I meant to warn trees. It was. I couldn't believe it. Nobody said a damn thing. All those leaves falling. But I guess it happens every year, so nobody's surprised. But anyway, we're past the point of having to respect the opinions of others. We got a lot of stuff going on my thumbnail. I don't know if I get in trouble or not for putting on the LIE word. I'll put that picture up in a minute. And I'm going to play a video for y'all while you settle in and get your favorite beverage. Isn't it about the time for some eggnog? I was thinking about that. Eggnog with a little bourbon in it, or, I got my coffee, and you all get whatever you like. But I'm going to play a video that I was playing this song many times when I first started doing doing broadcasts, and I said my father used to sing this song. I can remember him singing when I was a kid, all the way up for almost 50 years. But anyway, doesn't the Trump Kennedy Center look wonderful? And that's where Trump was last night. Trump was there last night accepting an award. We're going to get into that. But what's the song my father used to play? Many of you will remember Nessun Dorma. And I will win. I will win. But here's what Trump got to enjoy last night. And I want you all to enjoy it tonight while you get settled in. And a reminder, if you subscribe and hit the notification bell, you'll know when I go live so you can join in with the chats and enjoy this music and my intro video. And then we're going to be like butter. Get on a roll.
Live from the heart of Washington, D.C., the FIFA World Cup 2026 final draw. Please put your hands together for the legendary Maestro Andrea Bocelli.
Nella tua fredda stanza
Wasn't that wonderful? Isn't the Kennedy Center or the Trump Kennedy Center a beautiful building? Imagine what it looked like beforehand. It was, pretty much ragged out. And now you got this beautiful building. I'm not going to play my other intro. I don't want to drag things out too long for you all before we start talking about what's going on. But yeah, that was a beautiful song. I'm seeing some of your comments. Yes, you used to sing it. Hi, Elva. How are you doing? He used to sing it and fill the house, a big house. We had 10-foot ceilings downstairs, 9-foot ceilings upstairs, and you could hear him in every corner. He classically trained. He's a pianist and a tenor, and he could have toured with the Metropolitan Opera, but he ended up having a family. So anyway, after he served, of course, in the Marine Corps as a combat veteran during the Korean conflict. So anyway, thank you all for indulging me in some of my memories. Hello, Kickin' Bird. How are you doing? Nice to see you, Sherry. Nice to see you, Gary. Ha! Let's go down to the river. Kim, Robin, Linda, Rain. Nice to see you, Sparky, Cole, Elva. How you doing, Todd? Debbie's here. Let's see. I want to see if we get two Debbies. We had two Anns last night, too. Did y'all notice that? And let's see. Robin's here. Kim's here. Let's see. Who am I missing? We got a lot of folks in tonight. Hi, Wayne. How you doing? Giving me a thumbs up. Thank you all for your thumbs ups. I do appreciate it. Darla's here. Linda Marie. Anthrax. Is that flannel cheese? I call you by whatever handle you got up on the screen. That's what we go by. Hi, Greg. Yeah, we all win. And, of course, hi, Miss Mendersu. We all associate this song recently with Some of All Fears. MS Motorsports, how you doing? There's Debbie number 2. Nice to see you, Debbie. So, yeah, Some of All Fears. And a lot of people say we're rounding a corner with Trump going to that performance and that song being a highlight. BK, how you doing? So we shall see. That's why I put Buckle Up, Dan Bongino. He said the other day, I pointed out that he said it was an epilogue. The arrest of this clown, this white guy, was a epilogue to a long book with many chapters. Now, this one clip I have of him, he said it is the first chapter of a 10 to 20 chapter book. So, things are going to start to go down. Here's what I put on the screen. I don't know if I get in trouble for this or not. They lie to you. Okay, of course, the famous I guess it was while I was live last night or while I was setting up my studio. And I called him during my, 5:01 Eastern time. Whoa, he did it way before I went live. I just didn't know that. Anyway, I'll let you all be the judge. Is he telling the people the truth? Now, did the Mockingbird media skip a beat? Did they lose some of their feathers?
Capitol attack. Brian Cole Jr., a 30-year-old white man from the D.C. suburbs, is charged with transporting an explosive device in interstate commerce and with malicious destruction by means of explosion. CNN observed local and federal law enforcement outside his home in Woodbridge, Virginia this morning.
Yeah, fake crapper. Yeah, the world saw you. The world saw what you did and said. Mockingbird Media is being exposed. And what's this? I don't even know this guy's name. He's on CNN. But here they are. No, before I play this, let me play this one right here. How many of you all remember this? How many of you all remember this?
And the violent, deadly insurrection on the Capitol 9 months ago, it was about white supremacy, in my view. And the violent, deadly insurrection on the Capitol 9 months ago, it was about white supremacy, in my view.
Oh, really? Oh, really? Man, they've got their heads spinning on how to spin this arrest. And of course, they're looking for another story to take it over. But, it's going to come out. It's going to dribble out. Booms incoming. But anyway, let's listen to what this nitwit's talking about.
Jelani, you're a black man. I'm a Muslim. When you consider how black criminals and Muslim terrorists are treated, both by the legal system and by the media, and yet the January 6th pipe bomber who laid explosives in front of the RNC and DNC headquarters still walks free. We just learned today that then Vice President-elect Harris was inside the DNC when the bomb was found there. We still don't take domestic terrorism of the far-right white variety seriously in this country, do we?
No, we don't. We've seen this since the Obama administration, where they pointed out that there was this rise of white nationalist terrorism. And that was a prompt.
This was before they caught him, right? They just made a judgment. They made a judgment call.
Promptly squashed and jumped upon by the Republicans in Congress. And so great cries of outrage in response to that. And this has been what we've seen since then, nowhere near the level of alarm that we've had around the, what was the phrase they used, Islamic terror that they were trying to make Barack Obama say all the time.
Yeah, it's just so depressing, the double standards. I don't know how many times you can draw attention to it. I, as a Muslim, keep drawing attention to it because it kills me.
You don't got to worry about that. KILLNU. You got to worry about when Sharia law comes around. That's what you got to worry about. Sharia law. But anyway, so their drum beat is falling apart. Here's what I borrowed the pictures. I cropped them out and put it on my thumbnail. Autism Capital. The J6 pipe bomber versus Netflix. J6 pipe bomber. So everybody's predicting Netflix is going to make. Netflix is buying Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers. Oh my God. We'll get into that. But I'll tell you what. Who used to make movies with Warner Brothers? Almost exclusively. Once he started making his own movies. What very famous person made a lot of movies with Warner Brothers? Just take a stab at it. And I'm sure he is beside himself over Netflix going to buy Warner Brothers. Because if they buy Warner Brothers, are they going to have the catalog of movies? What are they going to do to some of the classics? Warner Brother classics. What are they going to do? Y'all make sure to give me a thumbs up. That'd be helping me out quite a bit. No, I'm talking a star. A big star. How you doing, Larry? Pappy, how you doing? I'll see if any guesses come. I know I'm not giving you a lot, but action films, westerns, a cop, iconic stuff. Are they going to take iconic stuff and put it away somewhere in a closet where no one will ever see it again? Ever see those kind of movies again? But anyway, here you had Donald Trump was honored with FIFA's first Peace Prize. Aha! Yeah, I see. We got some winners. And the winners are Joshua, Gary, and Randy came up with it. Yes. Clint Eastwood did Dirty Harry series with Warner Brothers. I believe he did the Every Which Way But Loose with the orangutan. He did, I think, the Iger Sanction, the movie. A lot of movies through Warner Brothers. And are they going to bury those things? The Dirty Harry series, for crying out loud. That is American classic. Look what they did to Gone with the Wind and Song of the South and Huckleberry Finn. So, it's going right for American culture. I don't know why Fox News put this picture up with Trump. Trump accepting the Peace Award. He's picking it up. He put it on himself. I got a clip of that. Let me see if I can find it. I think this is it right here. I don't know if the guy wanted to put it on him or what, but Trump just said, he kind of did like Napoleon with the crown. He said, I'll take care of it myself. But hey, this is going to take away the prestige of the Nobel Peace Prize, I believe, because of the World Cup. Just about every country around the world participates in the World Cup.
Everywhere you want to go.
Right now.
Oh. Excellent. And you.
So there he is wearing it. Netflix has Michelle and Barack Obama on the board. Well, at least Obama. And also, not Valerie Jarrett. What's the other one's name? Oh, my goodness. Rice. Yeah, you're right, Todd. They destroyed Snow White. You could go down the line with the movies they destroyed. Hi, Rebecca. Nice to see you. So, Warner Bros. did a lot of movies. So you see on the screen there, they're coming out with this fraud is going to, I've said it, and I keep on, I'll just wear everybody else out if I keep saying it. But I said it's going to boggle everybody's minds. People are going to be gobsmacked when they learn how much has been stolen. And I've got so many clips, I don't know which one is which. I'll play. Let me see. Let me see if this is it. Where they say it could be going to $8 billion. I don't know if this is a clip or not. Oh, this is Dan Bongino. This is Dan Bongino talking about the BOM. Where's the clip about how much these creepos have stolen? And Ari Fleischer was on Fox News. Oh, I want to play this guy too. He's running for office. Josh Williams. He's got a great story, and I want to let him tell it. Here it is. Ari Fleischer said people need to go to jail for an excessive amount of time. Lots of people. I don't know how Tim Walz or his attorney general are going to get out of this crap, because it comes right up. She was rubbing elbows with the big players in this game. And how much money they've sent over to Somalia, we're just finding out. This has been going on for years. And you heard what Donald Trump said. It started with Barack Hussein Obama. Have you heard of him? But anyway.
In Minnesota is growing by the day. Kelly Loeffler, who leads the Small Business Administration, says in the 2 days her agency has been investigating the state, they've uncovered at least $1 million in PPP fraud just 2 days in. Several of the whistleblowers in Minnesota have also total up to more than $8 billion. Governor Tim Walz, who is up for re-election, is under fire for all of this happening under his watch. But he says they have paused these programs. They've brought in outside auditors to get an idea of how far-reaching this fraud was. They're taking steps to keep it from happening again. And he's defending his management of the state while also taking shots at Republicans and the president.
And in spite of the headwinds we're up against, Minnesota ranks economically, economic growth, happiness, number of people insured, education levels, near the very top. So I'll tell you what, I have no interest in having this state look like Oklahoma or Mississippi. And if folks are going to commit crimes here, thinking because our generous spirit and our programs that we have is going to give them some kind of cover, they are sadly mistaken.
Yeah, Minnesota is also now home to the single largest pandemic fraud scheme in the country. And Republicans argue that Walz and other Democrats opened the door to this.
He was taking credit for all the Minnesotans that got health care. That's federal, buddy. That's been nationalized. Minnesota can't take credit for that. We're giving health care free to people who are perfectly able to go out and earn their own way, along with all the SNAP and the housing and all the other benefits. Why do you think people are coming from an sub-Saharan African nation to a freezing cold state like Minnesota that's totally against their what they grew up with, their culture, what they're used to temperature-wise, because they're getting free crap. That's why. They're being enticed to come up there. You have people like Ilhan Omar, organizing this infiltration. You don't have to assimilate. You don't even have to learn English. We're going to build our own enclave. And we're going to fleece the infidels. Okay, so anyway, here she is. What are you doing, Elon? Is this Diamond and Silk? Yeah. Just in, Ilhan Omar under fire after new details reveal close ties to Somali Minneapolis fraudsters. She's facing intense pressure after emerging details revealed deep personal and political proximity to several Somali American figures now implicated in one of the largest fraud scandals in Minnesota history. What? Minnesota history, my eye. It's in American history. I was going to put a thumbnail up that said something like Teapot Dumb Scandal. You know, we're of the generation. When we went to school, we learned about the Teapot Dome scandal. Remember that? Boss Tweed. They arrested Boss Tweed trying to get over into Mexico or something like that. But this is a Teapot Dome scandal. Well, they want us to believe that it's just because they're dumb. That not because they are criminals. But what we're looking at here is the entire hierarchy of the Democrat Party being involved in a worldwide criminal organization. This money is Never mind interstate fraud. Never mind, what do they call it? Wire fraud. This stuff is worldwide. This is international crime. We know what USAID, money going over to Palestine, money going over to Hamas, money going to God knows where. Everywhere they can steal a dollar, like I've been saying, they find a way to do it. Worse than the mafia. Worse than the mafia. And all the while that they're doing that, they want to destroy our culture. They want to destroy our culture. This is unnerving. But here you have, in Switzerland, I heard they were going to start, I might have been Sweden, but they're going to start throwing these people the hell out. And that's what everybody needs to start doing. Refugee from Afghanistan puts on in Switzerland. What's he doing? Oh, I got the clip. Who the hell needs this? And why do we have to tolerate it? Why do Christians have to tolerate it? And we know what's been happening to Christians all around the world.
C'est grave, moi. Faut appeler la police.
Police.
What's it like? Oh là là. Voilà, ông cha đến này, cha đến này.
A fairly young guy. Do I have to remind people that Christ himself flipped tables, that Christ himself took a bullwhip, okay, and went in the temple? I know that one gentleman was an older man, but somebody should have gone up there and sunk a foot right into his backside, okay, and slapped him right out of that building. Why do you think we had crusades, okay? There has to come a point when you defend your faith. And people have got to start stepping up or they're going to lose it. So we got Minneapolis is underwater with these people. Yeah, our baseball bat's still illegal there. Oh, just go in there, get it by the back of the neck and shake his head till his brain bounces off his skull. What's left of his brain? Hey, Graybeard, how you doing? Oh, yeah. Who? Kim. Did you all see that videos where somebody was going around handing out free machetes? They said to homeless people, but I think they were handing it out to just about anybody they thought would cause trouble. Still in the package, machetes. Yeah, hit that thumbs up. Help the video get around. I really appreciate it. You know, I took a clip from one of Nick Shirley's videos. Y'all make sure you take some time to watch some of these videos from Nick Shirley. I've got a clip that I haven't played. I've had it in the studio for about a week. When he was threatened, you know, he went up to Minneapolis. Okay, now he's in a clip of him interacting. The guy that's with him in the front goes with him, an attorney. So that's good. But Nick Shirley was going around, and this is the video is almost half an hour. I just took a small clip because he interacts with a lunatic, a harpy, okay, crone, still wearing a surgical mask this day and age. And she repeats the talking points, okay, that we've been discussing forever about stolen land, white privilege. And then he goes over and interviews another woman. But just listen to her. She has lost her damn mind. These people have got media-induced psychosis. They're not normal, okay? I'm sure she's got milky, bloodshot. This nonsense. But anyway, I'll go ahead and play it.
Nothing. How? What do you think about the counterfeit selling and everything that takes place on?
People are trying to make a living.
So you don't care that just law and order is not being upheld?
What is law and order?
Law and order.
What is
That's
that?
a great question. What do you think law and order is?
I'm asking you though. What do you think that is?
The laws of the land being upheld here in the United States.
But what kind of laws?
Every single law.
So the law to like kidnap people for making a living?
If they came to the country illegally and ICE finds out that they're illegal, they have the right to deport them. It's not a human right to be here in the United States, it's a privilege.
Interesting. So how do you feel about your privilege being born into this?
Yeah, I'm very lucky.
Yeah, so how about your ancestors who came here and stole land from indigenous people? How do we feel about that?
There's actually a conquered war, and then they bought it.
ICE is kidnapping people?
Kidnapping? Define kidnapping.
They're taking them off their street. They haven't done anything wrong. They came here to make a living because their countries are unlivable because of the U.S. imperialism that is happening in their countries, stealing their resources, their land, their gas, their way of living. What do you think you're doing here?
What do you mean?
What are you doing here?
I want to address that piecemeal, right? You said they're kidnapping folks.
Yes, they're taking them.
If they are here illegally.
Are they here illegally though? You don't even know
These
that.
guys cross the border. Ask any of them.
Who cares about the
illegally.
border? You guys cross the border all the time traveling.
Legally.
With the visa, legally.
Legally. Again, the definition.
There's not a quotation.
No, no,
You
no.
asked me what law and order is. Legally is not a quotation that we throw around and put on Hallmark cards.
Because somebody
I'm sorry,
makes
it's not.
the law.
Yes.
Somebody gets to define the law, and it's never the people who get affected by that law.
That's a complete lie. We live in a democracy. The only
We do
law is
not
that
live in a democracy.
What do we
Trump,
live in?
Trump is in a fascist American
Trump
machine.
won the both popular and electoral vote.
He
that is
did
the
not
definition.
win the popular
won
vote.
both
The
by a
electoral.
majority.
The
You won the popular and the electoral this
If a
time around.
quarter of the country votes for him and half the country doesn't vote, is that a democracy? What do you think a democracy is?
Every person that had the opportunity to vote, that was not taken away from them, voted for Trump.
What do you think about the counterfeit deal and stuff that happens here in Canal Street?
Okay, here he's going. I was going to say that if you run into somebody with a mask on, they're an insane. But now this young lady's hiding her face, but she's not insane. I think she's just trying to keep from, somebody identifying her and bearing a grudge and catching up with her later or something like that. Hey, she should be scared. She lives in a damn city where they let people sell stuff on the street like a Moroccan bazaar. And none of them speak English, none of them pay taxes. They're all criminals. And surrounded like, he's talking to this young lady and she hits the nail on the head right where I stopped the video. But while he's talking to this young lady, you can still hear that lunatic in the background that lawyer's trying to talk to. And I agree. Somebody earlier in the chat said I wouldn't give them the time of day, waste my breath on those lunatics. But the lawyer's trying to talk to her. But anyway, let me go ahead and finish the clip up.
It's my neighborhood, so yeah.
Yeah, so people are like, this is a good tourist destination. They can come here, they can buy the fake Gucci and whatnot. But the citizens that pay New York City taxes and care for their city and have to come through here every single day, what's it like for you?
Well, yeah, it's annoying. I never use the Canal Street station, so it's like a whole major station that I generally avoid. And yeah, it's like a lot of tourists also coming in, crowding the streets, buying stuff, and making there be an incentive, a demand for my neighborhood to be worse. So yeah, I don't know exactly the situation of the people selling. I think in some situations they're paying off like human smugglers that got them over here in the first place.
They're paying off human smugglers that got them here in the first place. She's exactly right. She's exactly right. Our government has been complicit in human trafficking. Human trafficking. And that screaming Mimi in the background doesn't realize that when we buy crap, knockoff items, and that was what Nick Shirley was showing everybody. They're out there selling knockoffs, counterfeit Gucci bags and garbage like that. That stuff is made overseas in sweatshops by people. I've said it in the past that were getting paid a bowl of rice a day. My dad used to say, but I believe they upped it to 2 bowls of rice a day. And it's slave labor, okay? In a communist dictatorship, they work those people 10, 12, 14 hours a damn day. And they haul that crap all the way across the ocean. And God knows what they do in their manufacturing process as far as polluting. And women like that earlier one with the mask on is defending them to come here. People in this country can't engage in manufacturing work because our markets are inundated with cheap crap that's made through slave labor. Our money goes overseas. Our jobs are overseas. And we're supporting slave labor and human trafficking. That dizzy broad doesn't understand that. And then you have the people that the Somalis aren't the only ones. I'm not going to just say, oh, the Somalis are the mafia of the cabal. No. They've all got a slice of this criminal pie that they're nibbling on, all of them. And the people in charge, like the Tim Walzes and the Attorney General and all the other clowns, know what's going on, play dumb, and get the votes and remain in power. So we've got an artificial economy going on that's just bleeding this country dry. Here's a meme you can put on your Meta. Donald Trump's driving a mail. There you go. Return to Somalia. Yeah. Our democracy. Pledge allegiance to the flag and the republic for which it stands. No, but they go right into that stolen land BS and white privilege. They are sickening. And I don't need to tolerate their views. I don't need to respect their opinions. Okay, because there's something wrong with them. They've lost their flipping minds. And, you got these reporters like Jake Tapper and all these people making these damn comments about kidnapping and dividing families. Here's a wonderful addition to the Arizona Congress right here. This woman here. She's wearing topaz jewelry. Newly sworn in Arizona Congresswoman Adelita Grijalva, pepper sprayed in the face for interfering in ICE operation at Tucson Taco Shop. So I'll play her video. You'll hear her say they had the street blocked off. And I just wanted to intervene and find out some answers, which is my right. And I put it in the comments, you're lucky you didn't get kicked right square in your prodigious crack, is what I said. But anyway, here she is explaining how she's fact-finding and protecting her people, right?
Hi, it's Adelita Grijalva. We just came up on a community that was protecting their people. We had, I would say, maybe 40 ICE agents, most of them masked, in several vehicles that the community had stopped right here, right in the middle of the street, because they were afraid that they were taking people without due process, without any kind of notice. And so I was here. This is like the restaurant I come to literally once a week, and was sprayed in the face by a very aggressive agent, pushed around by others when I literally was not being aggressive. I was asking for clarification, which is my right as a member of Congress. Once introduced myself, once I did, I assumed that it would be a little calm.
You don't have the right to interfere with federal law enforcement. And they ought to see if they get a video of that. And if she has done something where she deserved to be charged, they need to quit screwing around and charge these damn people. Because they're all doing the Mockingbird BS about due process, notice, masked agents, overly aggressive. When they're blocking the flipping road, okay, that's a felony to interfere with lawful federal operations. And hush, piggy. That's why I feel like telling her, hush, piggy. But anyway, I'll let the fat thing.
Calmer, but to me, in any kind of civil tone, and everyone else is being rude and disrespectful. And I just can only imagine if they're going to treat me like that, how they're treating everybody else. So we saw it. We saw people directly sprayed, members of our press, everybody that was with me, my staff member, myself, 2 staff members we have like remnants of whatever they sprayed on us. Excuse me. This is one of the problems, the biggest problem that we have in this community is that we have Trump that has no regard for any due process, the rule of law, the Constitution. They're literally disappearing people from the streets. They arrested 2 people. We have no idea where they're going. And I want to thank Tucson Police Department for coming and taking care of the space, making sure that everyone was safe once ICE left. And you can see that traffic is back to normal because of them. And so they were not the aggressors here. They arrived on the scene after ICE was already here and after there was a block in the street. So I just want to make sure that that's really clear. I want to protect the people in this community, and that's why I showed up. I think it's important for me to have eyes on what's happening here and not just have it be, stories through other people. So I'll keep you posted if I hear anything else.
Yeah, it sounds like you're trying to cover your rear end. Okay? You're making excuses. Oh, it was already blocked off at the end. It wasn't me, but I was just trying to find out what's going on. We had no idea where they were going. That's another thing. They're being hauled off to some mystery place. Well, where's that one post that the White House put out? Here it is. Here's where they're going. Don't you look at the White House Homeland Security website? You're going home, okay? That's where they're going. I should have used this for my thumbnail. You're going home. There you go. Hi, I'm like that. Hi, Outlandish. How you doing? Oh, you saw Potia, am I saying that right? Welcome aboard. Nice to meet you. You saw an interview earlier. Did you see when she made like a rogue elephant and went after him? You got me, Outlandish. I don't know what the hell's wrong with these damn people. But they need to start making more arrests, that's for sure. For people interfering. Oh, and the other thing that they got their talking points. I'll have to write them down, but they got them memorized. We've been through some of them. But the Epstein crap, for some reason, after all these years, they latched onto that and trying to infer Trump. Well, guess what? Epstein case grand jury records to be unsealed after federal judge order. That's going to take the wind out of their sails. Chasing transparency, a federal judge in Florida granted DOJ requests to unseal records related to Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell, citing a new transparency law recently signed by who? President Donald Trump. So put that in your pipe and smoke it. Speaking of, we got them on their heels. House Republicans passed Trump-backed map. Remember, Trump was putting out those truths saying, telling the lawmakers there in Indiana, if you don't go for this, we're going to make sure you're out. We're going to primary you. Indiana State House Republicans passed a new state congressional map Friday at the behest of Donald J. Trump, advancing the legislation to the state Senate. So, oh boy, isn't that going to be a very public showdown. Exposure is coming where it is unclear if enough lawmakers will support his final passage. Oh, the heat is on. The heat is on. You're going to see careers. Well, are they going to keep their careers or not keep their careers? And on top of that, we've got the Supreme Court. Gave a huge win. Massive victory. The Supreme Court upholds Texas 2026 congressional redistricting map in a 6-3 ruling. Oh, I wonder who the three were that didn't want it. Huge win. This means +5 red seats. Let me guess. Was it Lena Kagan and Sonia Sotomayor, the wise Latino woman, and Ketanji Brown Jackson? Yeah, that's the three that have no business on the Supreme Court. Their dissent is ridiculous. I listened to the attorney, Andrew Branca, and he read it and gave his opinion. And I'd encourage you to watch a recap of that because they're idiots. They're idiots. What kind of country do they want us to have? Very bizarre. Remember that report I told you all about the coup in this country, a third world S-hole in Burkina Faso? Remember I told you about that military coup? Maybe this is the kind of country they want. The military government of Captain Ibrahim Traore in Burkina Faso, they've taken over the government, arrested the president, reinstated the death penalty by adopting a new criminal code, which provides for drowning as punishment for, quote, treason, terrorism, and espionage. And here's the leader of the junta right here. Ibrahim, how would you like to have that guy and his henchmen staring at your front door? Okay? What do you think their constitution says? What do you think their democracy is like? If you don't agree with whatever the hell it is, you'll be sitting in a dunking chair. I guess that's how they'll do it, or maybe just tie rocks around your ankles, or who knows how they'll do it and throw you in the river. So anyway, oh, yeah, we got such a bad system, right? How about going where they're at? Speaking of having a bad system, here's a little clip that Laura Logan put up about a confrontation Lincoln had with, he calls him Taney, I think it's, I called him Taney, Judge, a Supreme Court Justice Taney, however you want to say it, who claimed that in the Dred Scott decision that black people didn't have rights and never could have rights because they weren't equal. And anyway, I'll go ahead and Lincoln said basically, we don't have a country then, okay? Because our Constitution says what it says. So if we don't have a country, you don't have a job, Taney.
You want to hear a funny story?
Sure.
And the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, a man by the name of Taney, walks up and says to Lincoln, "You cannot do what you're doing, sir. You cannot do this." Posse comitatus, right? And Lincoln looked at him and said, "Sir, if we do not have a country, you won't have a job, so you can just go back to the farm." Lincoln said, "If we do not have a country, I'm not here to be lectured by a Supreme Court justice because we won't even have a country." To say all men were not created equal, endowed by their God with inalienable rights. Our president, this president we have right now, is the closest to Lincoln-esque you'll ever find. He is having his Lincoln-esque moment right now. He's trying to save the economy, he's trying to right the ship, and he wants meat eaters.
Yeah.
He needs people who are going to stand up and fight.
Okay, but what you have documented here is that this president, in spite of his best efforts, has not yet fulfilled this duty to hold people accountable and to stop the weaponization of the government.
And if somebody,
he's being subverted,
yes,
and blocked.
Yes, and if somebody is withholding this information from him, I don't think I want to be that public servant.
Well, I was kind of surprised she said he wasn't doing his duty, but that he is being subverted. And the dam's got to break at some point. The dam's got to break. And that's why I don't want to get everybody on the edge of their seat. But when I saw them playing Nessun Dorma at the Kennedy Center, I'm thinking, oh, is something big coming? I mean, how big can we get? But the American people are numb. They're numb. They're numb in their brains. They're numb in their hearts. What we've been seeing 20 years ago would have enraged the populace. The outrage would have been unbelievable. And I'm telling you, something happened psychologically to this country after the first Obama election. And how are we going to reverse that? We got to do something. But Trump seems confident, so we shall see. Now, let me see. What is this? Jesse Waters. Oh, I think it was Josh Hawley. He went into the hearing with an admiral, and I forgot that Raising Cane was in this Senate hearing, and they showed the video of these boats. And Josh Hawley said it was a righteous strike. They were trying to flip the boat back over and recover some of the drugs that had been blown out of there, knocked out of there, blown out of there, whatever. And they had friends coming. They were still in the battle. And he said and they shot 4 times at either the boat or the boat and the Confederates' boat. And he also said at the end of it all, I don't care if they release all the videos or not. He said, I don't know why they're holding them back. I don't know why it needs to be classified, because everything they did was defending our country. So let me see what this clip is about. Whoa, hold up. I'm going to cut my mic off.
Well, number one, we never use the term double tap for conducting airstrikes. So a lot of my fellow global war on terror veterans are laughing at Democrats and how they're talking about this. We never stopped in the middle of a firefight and asked the enemy if they needed aid. We finished the enemy. You could say that we killed them all. And I'll tell you that Secretary of War Pete Hegseth, President Trump, and Admiral Bradley, they will not be deterred. And this is a war on warriors. Every one of us who served overseas, we wanted to protect the United States of America. And we were told that we're going to be able to fight the terrorists overseas so we wouldn't be able to fight them here at home. Well, President Trump, like you said earlier, is embarking on the most popular foreign policy objective right now with killing these narco terrorists. So what this really all is, it's politics. It seems like Republican orders are unlawful, but Democrat orders are lawful. You see Senator Mark Kelly, who I think should be tried for sedition, him and the Seditious Six, they planned this. They wanted to have that video go out to sow doubt in the minds of military commanders, to create a wedge between them and the commander-in-chief. And then, so behold, now there's this hoax that comes out that's going to be debunked. I think your opening monologue just completely exonerated the Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth. He is doing his job. He's defending his warriors and will continue to protect the homeland.
So why do you think that the Democrats had no problem when Barack, Bush, Biden, Trump won, was doing this? What do you think that's about?
It's all about politics. You know, Barack Obama conducted an extrajudicial drone strike that killed 2 American citizens. One of them was a 16-year-old boy. I don't hear Senator Mark Kelly talking about that. But when President Trump wants to protect our homeland, now that's unlawful. What we're seeing is an insurgency that is being waged against the duly elected commander-in-chief. President Trump wanted a mandate. The American people support him. But the Democrats, they're not going to stop their lawfare. We saw what they did in 2024. They tried to kick him off the ballot. They tried to charge him with non-crimes, and they underfunded his Secret Service detail and almost got him killed. Well, when President Trump won, they weren't up, and they're going to continue to wage this insurgency against the acting president, against Secretary Hegseth, and against the will of the American people.
Well, Mark, thank you so much for your...
Yeah, so what we've been hearing, the last 2 clips, we've been hearing the big boy language.
Do that to clear things up, and
I'm sorry, I didn't know he's still talking. We've been hearing the big boy language. Insurgency, we heard twice in this clip, and with Laura Logan, it was subversion. Subversion. So you're right, Gary. It's so much bigger than what we're seeing. We're seeing the Maduro, okay? Bear with me for a second, folks. Maduro's got to go. It's not just the drug running. The Iranians have a base in Venezuela. There's a case where they tried to kidnap on American soil a Iranian refugee, a woman who was an activist to allow women to show their hair in public. She had to leave because they put out a fatwa on her where they were going to offer in Iran. So she started doing social media here in America. In Iran, if you got caught sending her a message or a comment on one of her videos or on X or anything like that, you could get 10 years in jail. So they had a plan that we found out. We've got it on record where they were going to get her to the water and take her to a base in Caracas, Venezuela. That didn't work. They tried a couple of times. They found the maps. They found they intercepted telephone conversations where they were going to kidnap this woman, stuff her in the trunk of a car or in the back of a van, take her to a waterfront. They had 3 separate locations where they're going to put her on a boat and take her to Caracas. And they wanted her, the mullahs in Iran wanted her alive and under control when she arrived in Caracas. God knows what they were going to do to her. I might get a clip of that video about that operation. But that is terrible. But what you're learning is you have a hostile nation that's pursuing atomic weaponry that Barack Hussein Obama sent billions of dollars to in cash and gold. that has an operations base in Caracas on top of all the drugs and everything else. So Muslim Brotherhood, okay, you can interchange that with these Somalian godfathers, mafia figures, whatever you want to call them, and Tim Walz. And it's all going to start coming out. But anyway, I heard that there was a phone call, another phone call with Trump and what's his face, Maduro. If I come across it, I'll give you the long and the short of it is Maduro's demanding safe passage and asylum in another country for 100, the families of 100 of his associates. And he's complaining he's got nowhere to go. And Trump made some suggestions to him where he could go, but he's got to go. He's got to go. When I come across that report, I'll show it to you. But anyway, talking about big picture. I already showed you this. This was on Ruski News too about Trump getting the Peace Award. I took that earlier in the day, but let me see this one. Here we go. Let's see what. The Telegraph reports that Maduro agreed to step down in a conversation with Trump, but on the condition that he be left with $200 million, be granted amnesty for about 100 officials, and be allowed to resign in a friendly country as a part of a proposed reservation agreement with Trump. The 15-minute call was interrupted due to Maduro's demands for full protection for his immediate circle and his insistence on staying in the Western Hemisphere, while Trump suggested Russia or China. You're going to get out of our hemisphere. You're lucky we haven't sent a team in and arrested your ass like we did with Pineapple Head. He later proposed Qatar as a possible compromise. I think they're talking about Trump proposed Qatar. Some people say Qatar. So the ball is in motion for him to get the hell out. Let's see. Yeah, in the 40,000-foot view, I'm keeping a loose eye on the comments. See, it's the bigger picture. But what we have is we've got thousands and thousands of people that are asleep, that don't get it. They don't even get the basic functioning, how our country is supposed to function. And we got to make an attempt to wake them up. That's why they call it the Great Awakening. Some of them, like that crazy broad in the street with a mask on. Our education system has been so compromised. I don't know. How do you pull the Band-Aid off, or however you want to call it, without there being people losing their flipping minds? I mean, they've already lost their minds, but how do you get it done without there being some real friction in our civil society? But anyway, the deal on Ukraine may be signed within a few weeks. Vice President of the United States Vance indicated, "I really believe we've made significant progress, but we have not yet reached the finish line. There is hope, and I hope there will be good news on this front in the next few weeks." NBC News quotes Vance. So that's another signal. We're making progress on the Ukraine front, and Venezuela, and Iran can kiss its base goodbye once Maduro is gone. Europe is beginning to acknowledge that Kiev, writes the newspaper El Pas. The idea that Ukraine would agree to lose its territories especially provokes resistance in the Baltic countries and Poland. Well, tough. Because, like Trump said, if you don't make peace, you just fight your little heart out, and whatever happens, happens. What's this one? Let me see what this is. If the Somalis are only generating 500 million in income, how are they sending 1.78? We're talking about the year 2023, folks. Imagine how much it is now. The Somali fraud rings have set huge sums of money in remittances or money transfers from Minnesota to Somalia. According to reports, an estimated 40% of households in Somalia get remittances from 40% of the population of Somalia. In 2023 alone, the Somali diaspora sent back $1.7 billion, more than the Somali government's budget for that year. That's the entire government's budget is less than $1.7 billion. Our food stamps. And this gives you another basis for this $8 billion fraud, nearly twice the food stamp figure I just cited. That's from memory. I'm not sure the exact amount. Somali Minnesotans generate $500 million annually and pay about $67 million in state and local taxes. This is some dopey news service, KSTP, putting out propaganda that they pay $67 million in state and local taxes. What a load of crap. Oh, my screen's not working. Let me get that off screen. I can't read my chats with that white background. There we go. Working now. Well, yeah, I agree that a lot has been done. But when do you reveal it? I mean, it seems to me like we're running behind on people using their common sense and waking up. We've got too many people like that crazy broad screaming through a stupid paper mask. And I just say we have to say the hell with these people. The hell with them. Let them piss and moan. Yeah, Sparky, they live in nice homes. Just like this clown here. They live in nice homes. The garbage they're putting out now is that he supposedly confessed and that they claim he's an putting out BS that he's a Trump. It's going to turn out, where's Dan Bongino? It's going to turn out that this was planned kind of like the Jussie Smollett thing. Not that he, trying to set people up, but trying to wreak havoc at the Capitol so they didn't have to do that one step that's required in the Constitution that is part of the Brunson case, that they have to take 10 days to address complaints about electors, and they use the disturbance at the Capitol to avoid that step. So he's part of that. And that, I think, is what's going to come out. Let me see. This is Dan Bongino. Yeah. Yeah, here's where Dan Bongino says it's the first chapter of a 10 or 20 chapter book.
Had possible anarchist leanings. I have other contacts that spoke with people that lived in the neighborhood, that knew him. Any evidence at this point that you can tell us, any anti-ICE sentiment, any anti-police sentiment, any radicalization or evidence of radicalization that you and the team, to quote you, are finding and that you're seeing at this point?
Well, the assistant director in charge of the Washington field office is an absolute manhunter. Darren, you saw him at the press conference today. In just the last couple of months, he's had to deal with the tragic National Guard shooting, Washington Safe Streets program. He's been dealing with this case and other public interest cases as well. I say that because this was a lengthy investigation. This did not just happen yesterday. We've been doing this for a while. As legal process starts to come out and filter out into the public space, you may see some more stuff tomorrow. I don't want to get ahead of it, but you'll see more. And I want to be very clear with the public. This is chapter 1 of a 10, 20 chapter book. This investigation is not over at all. The investigation has just begun. We've interviewed the subject at length. We are still going through an enormous, very early for me to get out ahead of that on motive. I mean, obviously the motive was to drop a couple bombs and, that could have killed people. But what the actual ideology and motivation, I want to be cautious to get this fact.
Yeah. Sometimes smooth is fast. So, yeah, I was thinking about that too. What is the deal with that girl they put out there that did she used to work for the Capitol Police and then went to the C.I.A. I believe that's how it went. I think and I was saying, did somebody try to set the blaze up to get sued? That's one notion I had. But, wait a minute. Could they have thrown that out there because they were coordinating? Okay? That chick and this guy, were they coordinating? And they put her name out there and her picture to see if there would be any communication. I don't know. I mean, we're dealing with high level. All right, let's take a quick break from that. I want to show you this. This is in Romania. Oh, I didn't get the text on there. This is in Romania. You got to watch it. It's quick. It's quick. Here's the video. I'll put it on a loop so you can see it a couple of times. This is a guy that comes out from watch the upper right-hand portion of your screen, okay? Somehow a guy out of the blue goes airborne. He goes airborne and goes over top of 2 cars. They said he had serious injuries, but refused to go to the hospital. I'll play it a couple of times so you can see it coming. How the hell did he end up airborne going over 2 cars? I got no idea. Looks like he was doing about doing about 90 miles an hour or 120 miles an hour and hit a curb. There you go. Whoa, I couldn't stop it quick enough to catch him in midair, but Jiminy crickets. I just did that to take a break from all this drama. How do we, what's going to be the point where things crack open and we see people like Judge Boasberg get arrested? I mean, some of these judges have got to be removed from the bench somehow. The one that sent this case to the Supreme Court about Texas maps, the one who dissented about the lower court saying you can't do the Texas redistricting. He disagreed, and the Supreme Court backed him up. But he wrote a dissent that was just absolutely blistering about these radical judges. But I'm not into reading all that stuff, but I encourage you to watch Andrew Branca's show. But anyway, here is a lying, dopey woman on the right-hand side. She talks like Nancy Pelosi. She slurs like Nancy Pelosi. But the power to ignore, okay? Talks about birthright citizenship, and the average person listening would think Donald Trump was a horrible human being and taking away people's rights they've enjoyed for 100 years. She only reads part of the 14th Amendment. She leaves out the part that says, subject to the jurisdiction thereof. She purposefully leaves that out. And if she is a practicing attorney, there should be a complaint on her, and she should have her license suspended. And but anyway, I'll go ahead and play it. The 14th Amendment says people born on American soil become citizens if their parents are subject to the jurisdiction of the United States. That's the part she leaves out.
Supreme Court just this minute, Brianna, announced it's going to take up a challenge to President Trump's order lifting birthright citizenship. You might remember on January 20th, his first day in office, he took his Sharpie pen and he said, this is a big one. And what he did was he tried to eliminate the automatic birthright citizenship that all Americans have had for more than a century. And what that does, it goes to the 14th Amendment of the Constitution that says all persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States. That means that anyone who's born here, Brianna, automatically becomes a U.S. citizen. And what Donald Trump's executive order tried to do was say anyone who was born of someone who was not here lawfully or who was here on some sort of temporary status, that person's baby would not automatically be a citizen. It's a very, it's probably of all the Trump actions that have been taken to date.
Well, I'm sorry. She did address it, but she didn't address it properly. My bad. I was listening to this. I had smoke coming out of my ears because she didn't explain what's subject to the jurisdiction thereof. I've been listening to Andrew Branca, and he puts it out there crystal clear and very well explained. She glosses over it. I earlier said she didn't. She skipped that part, but she didn't. She mentioned it, but she doesn't explain to the viewer what that means. Okay? If you're hiding from the law, if you're here illegally, you're avoiding jurisdiction. You're avoiding jurisdiction. So anyway, my point in bringing this up, it goes to the core of a lot of the problems we have right now. All these Somalians are busy having babies that are supposed to be citizens, and they live in enclaves that they don't even know, learn English. BS Sharia law and who's an infidel and who's not, and don't assimilate into our country. And they're supposedly having citizens, Somalians, who are also American. And why are they waiting till January? And when did Trump do this? Trump did this 9 months ago when he first became president. Okay, now they're going to hear it in a year. Okay, what else is happening in January? The end of January, they're going to shut the government down. Okay, I have very little doubt that the Democrats will concede anything. As a matter of fact, they're going to put even more crap on the plate that's inedible, and the government is going to close again. And when this ruling comes out, I think it's going to be explosive. I think that might be the tipping point. The government shut down. The Supreme Court supports Donald Trump, while the media is smearing the Supreme Court and Donald Trump. I think all the crazies are going to get even crazier, and that might be the time. I don't know. I'm just saying the timing is very interesting. Here's Trump. Let's see. I forgot what this. Oh, here he's lighting a Christmas tree. You know, and hey, since we're throwing down with the Muslim Brotherhood, we're throwing down with the Somali insurgency enclaves. We're getting Christmas back up in gear. Okay, we're making the tree back to be a national symbol, an event for the country to watch. And when you think about like that guy that was desecrating the Madonna, okay, it's nice to see the Christmas tree getting lit.
We have not only the 250 years, but this is a big one. We have the World Cup and we have the Olympics coming up, all within this 4-year period. See, if they didn't rig the election, I would have been sitting, can you imagine? I wouldn't have any of them, and I probably wouldn't have been invited. I would have been very upset by that.
Yeah, that's the rub it in video, where he rubs it in and says, oh, if you hadn't stolen the election, I'd already be gone. Let me see if this is the one where he lights the tree. I'm not sure. Let me see. Yeah, if you all hadn't stolen the election, I wouldn't even been invited to the World Cup or none of that. But anyway, I think this is where he lights the tree. Whoops, wait, I got to cut.
Well, thank you very much, everybody. It is beautiful, not too cold. There's no wind. We don't have to wear hats or anything. This is a special time, and Melania and I are thrilled to wish everyone here tonight an American. So is everybody ready to light the beautiful Christmas tree? Are you ready? So the First Lady is going to do the honors, and we're going to do a countdown. We'll go from 5 to 0, okay? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Honey.
Yay, there we go. Well, I don't know if you want to know my true thoughts, but something's got to crack, okay? Maybe it's going to be this. What do you think about this situation? Well, hold on. I gotta let it get on my screen. Whoa, holy cow. Oh, you'll be alone for Christmas, Mr. Mendersu? Well, you'll be together. That's the main thing, right? You'll be together. Is this going to be a showdown of some sort? Netanyahu. I'm not scared of Mom Dami. I'll go to New York. Benjamin Netanyahu said he would visit New York despite Mayor-elect Zoran Mamdami's repeated pledge to arrest him should he set foot in the city. So here you have city run by a Muslim. So pretty much daring him. Well, come on. I can't get that off the screen. There you go, Miss Mendersu. You have each other. And that's the main thing, right? Holy cow, my screen won't respond. I hate that. There we go. It's slowing down on me, folks. But that's all right. Oh, the Biden tree falling down, yeah. When do you think everything is going to be revealed? I'm asking a question. When do you think things are going to crack open? Are we going to have to go through the entire Trump administration and into a Vance administration? Or are things going to crack loose sooner? That's my question. There's so many people that need to be arrested. Before July 4th, March 2026, Gary says. Rain and Graybeard says before the 4th. So everybody's in agreement that it'll be before the 4th of July. Jersey says sooner. Cole says not soon enough. Well, let me show you this. Speaking of people that need to be arrested, now that this Swift boat or drug boat thing has been debunked, okay? This Mark Kelly, okay? Who's Zelensky with right there? There's a picture of Zelensky. Everybody look at the screen and tell me who that is standing next to Zelensky. And then I'll read you a report. Hi, Randy. Jersey Joe said, Mark. You think it's Kelly? No. He's a little taller than Kelly, and he's not as bug-eyed. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. It never goes away, does it? 10 years since you lost your hubby. Well, let me read you a seditious six. Mark Kelly's brother worked for Zelensky to raise billions of dollars in war propaganda operation. Much of the money was used to target U.S. politicians to gain taxpayer-funded financial support for Ukraine's war. This is Christina Goya's news. The initiative, United 24, was launched by President Vladimir Zelensky's administration and is in donations since its launch in 2022. How come she's the only one posting this stuff? Much of it going through crypto so donors can remain anonymous. The initiative, shaped the narrative for the war and targeted U.S. politicians to garner financial support. It featured fact-checking, anti-corruption messaging, and pro-war propaganda targeting American and Ukrainian populations. Almost all of the narratives against Russia pushed in the media and on Capitol Hill were coined by United 24. Helping Zelensky along the way was Scott Kelly, the twin brother of Democrat Senator Mark Kelly, seditious six, who served as an ambassador promoting medical aid campaigns. Critics say United 24 is nothing more than a secretly funded public relations tool that influences American opinion and policy. The initiative also closely aligns with Ukraine's Ministry of Digital Transformation, which has received money from U.S. aid. The U.S. has now given more than $175 billion. Is things making sense now? Let me see where it goes here. There we go. Well, hold on. Let me get it straightened out. $175 billion to Ukraine under the Biden administration. So you know that's been cut off. And people are pointing out the conflict of interest of family members of lawmakers working for foreign governments, especially those that are receiving billions of dollars in aid approved by Congress. As the identical twin of Senator Mark Kelly, a key senator who has vocally advocated for Ukraine aid packages, Scott's work with Zelensky, a foreign government, sparks ethical concerns. Senator Kelly serves on the Armed Services Committee, where he has pushed for billions in military assistance to Kiev. All the while, United 24 pushed a pro-war narrative. Observers say this creates an appearance of impropriety, with family members working to shape the narrative for a foreign government that could sway congressional votes or public opinion. Neither Kelly brother has disclosed their financial ties to United 24 beyond Scott's personal gift. But I guess it's all legal, right? Our tax dollars again, that's right. Graybeard. It was his twin. It was his twin. Zelensky in heels. I'll play the video of him. Here's a meme for you. We live on stolen land. Don't you believe in open borders? There you go. That puts their little argument to bed now, doesn't it? Thought y'all believed in open borders. Let me see what's going on here. These things are so tiny, I don't know some of them till I put them up. Oh, speaking of our tax dollars, Christina Aguirre news again. Newsom under active criminal investigation for laundering $800 million through NGOs tied to Palisades fire. You would think that that would be on all the big news stations, right? So you got the seditious people like the seditious six. You got people like Gavin Newsom under investigation for $800 million. You got these pipe bomber ties coming into the J6 insurrection. All this crap is coalescing into something. Is it going to crack loose all at once, or is it going to be an arrest here, an arrest there, or is it just going to be, screw it, let's get them all right now? I'm leaning there. I tried to find. I'll have to find it for another broadcast. But there's a $400 million controversy in California. Newsom is tied to. What's this one? Wait a minute. I got another video here. Oh, it's Trump again. Let me see. Is this Trump? What is this?
You're gathered to celebrate the blessing of Christmas season here at the Pentagon. And a couple of months ago, my wife said, babe, President Trump brought Merry Christmas back. We're going to bring Christmas back to the Pentagon.
Here, in a special way, in this city, in this courtyard, remember the ones that are fighting to protect all of us. In this season, we think about them, we pray for them, we remember them, and may this tree honor them as well.
Yeah, there we go. That's the point I was talking about. Bringing back the Christmas tree, okay? Because we're under an attack from many facets, but one of them is the Muslim Brotherhood. Okay? Telling people they can't eat bacon and they can't walk their dogs. What's this one here? Let me see. Paul Sperry. Somalis say the Somali Mall in Minneapolis is practically empty following ICE raids. Excellent. This means the raids are working and the illegals are getting deported. Well done, ICE. Keep up the pressure. Deportations are patriotic. You know, that drives them nuts. Drives the damn liberals nuts. What's this one? WTA. I forgot about this. Irish judge slams teacher with life sentence for refusing to call a man a woman. Remember that Irish teacher that got fired, and they charged him, and Christian school teacher Enoch Burke sentenced to life in prison for transphobia because he will not play along with calling a man a woman. Talk about Satan's smoke. I mean, it's everywhere. It's getting into every government, every judicial branch. Trump said, I've just approved tiny cars. You know, I always wondered about that. I've been to Europe and they got these little cars, and it's like, you know, back in the day I had, and Dad liked them too, Lincoln Town cars. And Mark 6, I had a Mark 6, I loved that car. But I was wondering, why do they call these town cars? I mean, they were land whales. I loved them. They were comfortable. They got 20 miles a gallon. You could all, 6 people. They looked great, back in the day. But I said, why do they call them town cars? I had more of a notion of a smaller car being something you can use in town. Why don't you call them town cars? You bring that big Lincoln into a little town, it's like bringing in the Queen Mary. But anyway, I've just approved tiny cars to be built in America. Manufacturers have long wanted to do this, just like they are so successfully built in other countries. They can be propelled by gasoline, electric, or hybrid. These cars of the very near future are inexpensive, safe, fuel efficient, and quite simply amazing. Start building them now. Thank you to the DOJ and the Departments of Transportation and Environment. Enjoy, President Donald J. Trump. I mean, there's some pretty cool little cars. Now, I'm not fond of them, but I love my Jeep, my CJ2 Jeep. 1946, and I had a 1947. But anyway, the Democrats' #1 policy push is the complete and total obliteration of our great United States Supreme Court. They will do this on the very first day in office through the simple termination of the filibuster should they win the upcoming elections. The radical left Democrats are looking at 21 justices, all out of their damn minds like that woman with the mask. With immediate ascension, immediate. This would be terrible for our country. Fear not. However, Republicans will not let it or any other catastrophic policies happen. Our country is now in very good hands. MAGA. We shall see. We shall see. How the hell does this happen? We've got, count them, 9 states in this republic. 9 states in this democracy that do not have one Republican in Congress representing Republicans. And you have got a range of votes of a percentage, almost 50%. The lowest I'm seeing is Vermont at 32. New Hampshire's almost 50%, 48% in Congress. There should be at a minimum 1 seat. Other than that, it's corrupt. There it is for history to not only see but judge. Well, I got other things here, but wow, it's already been 1 hour and 45 minutes. Jiminy crickets, it's supposed to be a half an hour. But anyway, I've got this video here. This is a young fellow named Josh Williams. And this is one of the main causes of the upcoming destruction of the Democrat Party. Okay? And that's why I want to play it. I saved it to the end. He's going to tell his story. And it's becoming obvious that they're trying to replace American citizens with whoever in the hell, not just Somalis. I'm not going to pick on the Somalis. But whoever they can get in here to get on the gravy train, like Trump was saying, they're coming for the gravy. Okay? And here you have it. The awakening of the black population, okay, is going to be one of the big causes of the destruction of the Democrat Party. And this is a good representative of that fact. So listen to his story, if you would, and remember his name. So once again, look, I don't understand. I don't understand. I don't understand. I will say that, let me see. I know one thing. Oh, I haven't. Did you all remember to give me a thumbs up? But anyway, I want to thank everybody who went to buy me a coffee this week. Starting off the first week of December, big was Mike and Bev. Hilarious too. Gary, chairman of the board. Wayne, Miss Mindersue, and Outlandish. I've got a link in the description if anybody wants to help support the channel. I do appreciate it. This is a viewer-supported channel. I don't get anything from YouTube. And if you appreciate my efforts, stop by, buy me a coffee, and help the channel out. I appreciate it. So I don't know what else to say. I do the best I can. I do the best I can. So anyway, folks, again, I want to thank you all for spending your precious time with me. And this is Josh Williams. He's going to tell a story that you don't hear the media put out very much for people of color that are Republican. Okay? I will say conservative because I'm not a fan of the Republican Party like a lot of other people. So anyway, folks, enjoy this little story by Josh Williams. Thank you for spending your precious time with me. I hope you all have a wonderful night. I'll be seeing you soon. This is Mountain Man, over and out.
That most people would have expected to be here standing before in Toledo, Ohio. I'm a poor kid from the inner city. We didn't have the luxury of dreaming of a better tomorrow because my family was just concentrating on surviving each day. And at just 5 years old, my dad died from cancer. And I was left to be raised by a strong, single mother. And she did an amazing job raising me, but at the age of 18, I dropped out of high school when I became homeless. Soon after, I found out the mother of my son was pregnant. And right when I thought life was gonna get brighter, it all came crashing down. I fell 30 feet off the side of a train in Toledo and destroyed my spine. In just 6 months, I had 2 major back surgeries. For several years, I laid in that bed in the inner city of Toledo. And I lost hope, and I gave up. And I sat on the edge of my bed, and I was ready to end it all. And in that moment, my 3-year-old son, Matthew, walked in. I was getting ready to put my kid in the same situation that I was raised in, without a father, in poverty, and without direction. And I begged God for forgiveness. I said, if you show me the way, I promise I will put in the hard work to dig myself out of this bed and dig myself out of poverty. And oh my God, did he start working miracles in my life. And at the age of 30 years old, I enrolled at the University of Toledo as a freshman. And at the age of 35, I was graduating from law school. You can tell just how scared the Democrats are of my candidacy. I know I'm ready to fight. I was born to be a fighter. With your support, I will be the next congressman from the Ohio Congressional 9th District. God bless America, and God bless Northwest Ohio. Love you.